looks like women are on their knees in every single thumbnail. Learn the 10 iron principles of the high-value man's code.
How do you build connection? Not with tactics.
Not with tactics? You're asking people to buy a $50 ebook exclusively of tactics. This whole video is tactics. This is telling you what questions to ask. The ebook has a script that you're supposed to use word for word. Not with tactics.
Stay calm under pressure.
What does stay calm under pressure have to do with making women afraid to lose you? He's so calm. What if he calmly leaves me? Hello lovely people, my name is Emma. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you are new. Now I don't know about you, but I find myself a little bit concerned at the rise in misogyny, especially in younger people over the last few years. The manosphere has had an influx, a resuscitation. That's not the word that I'm thinking of. The manosphere has regenerated like Doctor Who with these Gen Z young men using smart glasses to record women on the street and make fun of them. Imagine my dismay when I stumbled upon a new channel, at least new to me, exclusively using AI-generated images and voices, which is by title and description ostensibly about philosophy, with 164,000 subscribers, and all their videos dedicated to how to treat your woman and be a high-value man. I don't love it. This is Stoic Tribe. I was not totally off the mark to say new, because apparently it is since 2024, according to their definitely AI-generated logo. Join the Stoic Tribe of Stoic minds. Welcome to the Stoic Tribe, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Our channel is dedicated to exploring the profound teachings of Stoicism, empowering you to navigate life's challenges with grace, resilience, and purpose. Doesn't that sound delightful? Now, I will admit up front, haven't done that much reading on Stoicism, but I do like ancient philosophers. I'm a big Plato fan, I've mentioned that here before, so I know a little bit about Stoicism. And my understanding of Stoicism is that it's generally about dealing with what is happening in the moment and controlling your reactions and yourself, because it's a waste of energy to try and think about all the things that you can't control. So you focus on the things that you can control in yourself. Join us on a transformative journey as we delve into the timeless philosophy of Stoicism. They did just say that, so that's one redundancy point. Practiced by great minds like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. Maybe this is me being overly cynical, but that reads as a little red flag to me, because if you have even the basic tiniest bit of passing knowledge of Stoicism, you know that Marcus Aurelius is a practicer of this philosophy, because he wrote like his Meditations is one of the foundational texts of Stoicism. So that feels like a redundancy to me as well. You know those guys on Twitter that have like Roman statues as their profile photos? Everything that they say is so round the houses and obvious and just extraneous, and you imagine them wearing a trilby at the time. That's the vibe I get from this, because like, fucking duh. You've said let's delve into Stoicism twice, and Stoicism was practiced by great minds like Marcus Aurelius. I think they just maybe think that it makes them sound smart to say, I know of Marcus Aurelius. Discover practical strategies to cultivate inner strength, find peace amidst chaos, and live a life aligned with your values. Whether you're seeking guidance on overcoming adversity, mastering your emotions, or pursuing personal growth, our videos offer insightful perspectives and actionable advice to help you thrive in today's world. There is no mention in any of that description that all of their videos are about women. All of their videos are about relationships between men and women. Extremely heteronormative, using terms like high-value male that specifically resonate and will get clicks from misogynistic communities online. It's dressing itself up as a philosophical... as a philosophical... quick, more coffee. It's dressing itself up as a philosophical self-help exercise, actionable advice. But all its videos are exclusively designed to get clicks from men who hate women. That strikes me as a red flag. Before we dive in, today's video is sponsored by Ground News, which is excellent because I have a story I want to talk to you about. If you've not heard me talk about it before, Ground News is an independent, subscriber-funded platform that's aiming to make the news more transparent. Can't tell you how both important that is to me and how incredibly helpful Ground News is for when I'm preparing for a video. So here's a great story to illustrate how it works. Tech is turning increasingly to religion in a quest to create ethical AI. You can see we have 37 sources, 47% left-leaning, only 13% right-leaning sources. 97% of the sources are high factuality, 31% independent news, which is interesting. Last week in New York, representatives from Anthropic and OpenAI met with religious leaders for the inaugural Faith AI Covenant, a roundtable meant to discuss infusing morality and ethics into artificial intelligence. I've always felt like the relationship between religion and politics is super weird. You have things like the Pope being so incredibly politically influential the world over. That feels wrong to me. A bit like how it feels wrong that the House of Lords is a thing in the UK. And yet, because of the current state of politics and the state of the world, those are some of the only people with political influence that are fighting for the right things and social justice. Ground News makes it super easy to look at the different tellings of a story like this, so you can see the bias distribution, the factuality rating, the ownership, etc. One of my favourite features is the blind spot feed that shows you stories that have little to no reporting on one side of the political spectrum. Go to ground.news/Emma Thorne, subscribe to get 40% off the Vantage plan. That is what I use to get unlimited access to all features, including the blind spot feed. Thank you so much for listening. Do check it out using the link down below. Thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video. Let me put the description into an AI checker. So this is not a flawless testing system. However, when the profile picture of the site, the voice, and the images are all definitely AI generated, I trust where this generator says 100% AI GPT. It's highlighted literally every character suspected to be most likely generated by AI. So that's not surprising. It's important to note, because do you want your life advice from a human being, or do you want your life advice from a sycophantic chatbot that is designed to tell you what you want to hear? I know where I'd rather get my advice from. Men will do anything to avoid therapy, with apologies to my viewers for whom therapy is inaccessible and expensive. It's not your fault. But don't do this instead. They do have a link here to Stoic Relationship Blueprint, which gives the game away a little bit at last. Is anyone surprised by the fact that you can buy an ebook? I bet it's 90% written by AI. The Stoic Relationship Blueprint for Men. The cover, probably also AI generated. Man in front, looking strong. Woman behind, clinging onto him, looking up at him like he's the best thing since sliced bread. I have so many problems with this. A, men are not simple, sex and relationship-driven creatures. They're also people. I bang on a lot on this channel about how women are people. The fact is, men are also people. They do have more going on in their lives than just thinking and worrying about women and getting women and being with women and how to keep a woman when they finally get one. Like, the idea that your whole life can be solved and that you will be a better man and a better person by just knowing how to get in and maintain a relationship is crazy. It's crazy. And it's insulting to men, I think. It's insulting to women, it's insulting to men. It's extremely heteronormative. There might be plenty of gay men out there who want to live their lives using the tenets of Stoicism. There should be a space for them to learn too, and not feel excluded by this extremely heteronormative stance, you know. Apparently this is a 4-part blueprint that teaches you how to build your world first, then invite her in on your terms. Stop trying to fit into her frame, women, by taking complete control of your life and relationships using Stoic principles. The fact that this limited time offer is a scam is completely betrayed by the failure of this countdown on the website. They obviously haven't updated their counter. It is still supposedly discounted from $200 to $50. Why would this ebook be $200? That doesn't make any sense. Of course it was never $200. Maybe it technically was, and they got around it the way that like furniture shops get around this, by selling it as $200 for like a day or a month or something, and then discounting it, and then having this limited time offer timer which is broken right now. So you can see that there aren't, in fact, only 10 minutes left. I better buy it while it's only $50. Scam. Scam, scam, scam. So often the, misogyny, taking advantage of people socially and culturally online crosses over with my interest in consumer protection and protecting people from being taken advantage of financially. Because the people that make these are evil, and they only want you for your cash. They do not want to help men live better lives and get out of the clutches and the throes of evil women that want to control them. They want your money. They want to use you to make money. And they are going to do it with the minimal effort, which is why all their work is AI generated. I almost want to get hold of the ebook so that I can run it through like an AI tester. I know those things are flawed, but just to see, because God, I bet every man needs this. Period. I like this. No therapy, no dating coach, no YouTube video has ever given me the kind of clarity this ebook delivered. Not even the Stoic Tribe YouTube videos? Not the videos of the channel that apparently made this book? You check your phone again. No response. 4 hours since you sent that message explaining your feelings. Bro, maybe she has a job. Even this made up scenario that they have concocted is ridiculous. Ancient Stoic philosophers understood what modern men have forgotten. Control only exists in one domain, yourself. Never in others, never in her. Here's a sneak peek. Part 1, Breaking Weakness. Eliminate the emotional dependencies women instinctively test and exploit. Bit of biological determinism. That's a classic sexist trope in the manosphere. Women are inherently evil, specifically in regards to their relationships with men. They almost can't help it. Women are just biologically driven to be evil towards you because they want resources or something. Build the unshakable foundation that makes women wonder what you have that other men don't. Use word-for-word boundary scripts that command respect and change heartbreak into fuel. Imagine, oh my god, please, nobody watching this channel is ever going to do this, but just in case, please do not ever repeat a script from a relationship book word for word. A woman or whoever you're talking to is going to be able to tell that you are literally parroting phrases from a book. That's crazy. Personal boundaries, understanding those, developing those, and communicating those, very good, very healthy. Approve of that 100%. You do not need a word-for-word script to be able to, oh my god, spoken by a group that uses AI to generate their words, their scripts for them. Establish yourself as the gravitational center of your relationships. Here's where it stops being about stoicism, about just controlling what you can control. A relationship, a two-person relationship, should be an equal partnership. You bend and you compensate for different, each of your different strengths and things that you like and things that you're good at. Overall, that is meant to be an equal partnership where you support each other. The reason this is misogynistic, right, from the ground up, the reason that all of these kinds of relationship guides for men are misogynistic is because they pose the world as, at least the world of relationships, usually the world in general, which is crazy, women are in control. They're in control of you in relationships, and that's bad, that's evil. So you need to be the one who is in control. Not you need to establish boundaries and build relationships of equality where you're both as important as each other, where no person is in control. No, somebody must always be in control. Biology says it must be man. No wonder they're also heteronormative. What do these people do with the concept of a same-sex relationship? Learn the 10 iron principles of the high-value man's code. Convert every relationship setback into momentum. Transform betrayals and disrespect into catalysts for change. Priming men to expect betrayals and disrespect from every relationship. All of this stuff just reinforces subtly with its language, right? It doesn't say women are evil anywhere on this page, but throughout the whole thing, it implies that women are all inherently, literally using the word inherently, like this. You will be disrespected. You will be. If you're going to pursue relationships with women, you will be betrayed. Because all women are like that, is the unspoken bit that we'll get because we're not stupid. 5 powers you'll immediately gain. End manipulation cycles, command natural respect, make decisions without hesitation, establish non-negotiable standards, develop emotional immunity. There's another countdown that says 0 seconds remaining on this discount. Oh no, we missed it? Unfortunately, I don't think this book is popular enough for me to be able to find a copy of the ebook. Oh, I've got a little spot of sunlight in a really inconvenient place on my face. Okay, hold on. This office does not like me having natural light. Beautiful room, this office. Really nice big windows. You can't have the curtains open because you will be blinded by the sun almost all of the day. It's a shame. It's a shame. Okay, so I can't check out the ebook because it just isn't popular enough to be available anywhere to borrow on the internet, and I'm not giving them $50, especially when they're doing a discount scam for it. That's like a double no, sorry. But we will watch some of their videos! Just as a reminder that despite the page we've just seen selling this relationship-themed ebook, nothing in the description or the title suggests that this is a channel entirely dedicated to talking about women. That's just like, you get here thinking this is about stoicism and how to live by the principles of stoicism, and then you look and all of the everything is specifically about women. And it looks like women are on their knees in every single thumbnail. Every thumbnail has a woman on her knees saying sorry or I love you to a man, a sharply dressed man. Every girl's crazy about a sharp dressed man. I'm gonna say that's another red flag, actually. Alone is power. 9 red flags in a woman. How to be a high value man. When you go silent, her mind goes crazy. Ooh, silent treatment is such a cruel trick. That's such a toxic trait. Silent treatment. Don't like that. All right, let's see what this is about.
When you go completely silent, something unexpected begins to happen. The messages stop, the attention disappears, and suddenly she's left with questions that won't leave her mind. She starts wondering what changed, why you're no longer reacting, and whether she's losing someone she thought would always be there.
Yeah, that's what makes it so cruel. That's what makes it such a horrible manipulative tactic. Going completely silent on her. I'm sure I've glanced at titles of videos on this channel that's like what to do when your woman is giving you the silent treatment. Again, it's this idea that somebody has to be in control. Somebody has to be the manipulator. So it might as well be you, not your woman. Hate this voice. Hate this AI-generated image.
Silence has a strange way of revealing feelings that words never could.
Why did the background image just, like, suddenly flip our philosopher? I don't know. Maybe this is meant to be Marcus Aurelius. It's clearly meant to be a Roman guy because of the background. Because you're more likely to trust it if it's ancient. We've got this obsession with traditionalism, thinking that the old times were the better times, and specific periods have a reputation for being better. Therefore, men are more likely to trust this if there is AI-generated Roman-esque imagery in the background. That is such a cheap trick. You are better than that. You deserve better than that.
You'll discover why your silence can have such a powerful psychological effect and what it truly makes her think. Number 1. She starts overthinking.
That's nice of you to do to her.
Silence changes the entire situation because it removes the one thing she expects from you, which is a reaction. And when you stop reacting...
Who does that look? That looks like a celebrity now.
Stop trying to prove your value and stop making yourself available every single time she wants your attention.
The silent treatment is not the same as making yourself available every time she wants attention. You can set boundaries and be like, look, I'm really sorry, I can't reply to you all the time, although now I'm thinking of the Stoicism website we were just on that said, like, it's been 4 hours and she hasn't replied to you. It's okay for you to be needy and demanding, it's just not okay for her to be. But yeah, you can set those boundaries without giving her the silent treatment that makes her overthink. Like, yeah, you're causing her anxiety. Well done, congratulations!
She is left with something she cannot control, which is uncertainty. And uncertainty has a way of staying in a person's mind far longer than predictable behavior ever does, because when she knows exactly what you will do next, she does not need to think about you. But when your actions become calm, steady, and impossible to predict, questions begin to replace assumptions.
Okay, this is just babble, right? This is AI-generated nonsense. This is word salad. It's fluff that doesn't really mean anything. How can you be calm and stable and completely unpredictable? That's insane. That doesn't make any sense.
She starts wondering why you have become different.
Of course she
Whether
does.
someone else has your attention, whether you have finally accepted that your happiness cannot depend on her response. And while she searches for answers, you should not waste your time wondering what is happening inside her mind, because your real purpose is much bigger than keeping someone interested.
You are a man. And you're a man who likes Roman philosophy. Therefore, you have a grander purpose than whatever silly woman is in your life. Silence creates mystery. She notices your confidence. She questions her choices. Curiosity keeps growing. She fears losing you. I'm going to skip to the conclusion because, God, this is long. Why are we just seeing this image of this man over and over again in slightly different spots with his hair changing?
Your future changes the moment you stop giving away your peace and start building unshakable character.
But completely unpredictable, unshakable character. You will always be calm and stable, and yet she will never know what's coming.
The Stoic Relationship blueprint for men is linked in the comments.
Quelle surprise. It ends with an advertisement for the ebook, the AI-generated, definitely ebook. Well, that was good. When she disrespects you, confuse her with your indifference. 6 mind-blowing questions that will make any woman fall for you. 6 questions, it's 37 minutes long. How can that be? Oh, go on then.
She doesn't want the nice guy. She doesn't crave the one who always agrees.
Right off the bat.
She's not dreaming about the man who worships her every step.
He's got so much more hair now. Where's all his hair? He gets more and more hair every 5 minutes.
She's thinking about the one she couldn't control, the one who asked her questions that shook her soul, the man who wasn't trying to impress her. He made her feel something she couldn't forget. That man. He spoke less, but when he did, she listened with her entire being. He knew what to ask, not to manipulate, but to evoke.
Is that Keira Knightley? Was that airbrushed Roman Keira Knightley?
Shatter her ego, but to touch her identity. Most men are invisible, not because they're unattractive, but because they're emotionally forgettable. Today, that ends.
Oh my God, this video is changing things forever. This is changing the game for men. Get to the first question then.
Number 1. What makes you want to stay in someone's life long term? You're not just here because you want to impress women. You're here because deep down, you're sick of living beneath your potential. You're sick of being overlooked, unheard, invisible in conversations, in relationships, and in life.
Could it be any clearer that this is designed to target vulnerable men? Do you feel overshadowed, not listened to in your whole life? You need to treat women badly. What you need to do is buy my ebook, and that will fix your whole entire life. I'm an AI-generated Roman guy with increasingly big hair. So, you know.
You want to know how to keep a woman, how to be the kind of man she doesn't just like, but respects, follows, and invests her emotions in.
I thought, maybe naively, I thought it was going to say not just likes, but loves. But no, respects, follows, and invests in. Do you think Stoic Tribe is of the, love doesn't really exist persuasion that's quite popular in the manosphere? Surely what you want in a partner, in general, whoever you are, is somebody who cares about you and shares enough interests and your personalities match and you love spending time together. Not, I'm looking for somebody who respects and follows me. That's creepy.
But this isn't about her. Not yet. It starts with you. Because the question, what makes someone stay, cannot be answered without first asking, Why should anyone want to stay in your life at all? Most men walk through life seeking validation.
Okay, I'm not interested in all the word salad, so let's skip to the next question.
Number 2. When do you feel the most connected to someone?
It's an alright question.
This question seems gentle, harmless, almost soft, but it is one of the most powerful psychological keys you can ever use in a conversation with a woman. Not because of the words themselves, but because of what they force her to confront inside her own emotional landscape. This is not a question you ask to start a conversation. It is the one you use when you want to open a door.
Is it really? It feels like a nice enough question to ask early in a relationship, but it doesn't seem groundbreaking in the way that this is pretending. It's a good getting to know you thing, but what about this is game-changing? What about this separates someone that you can't stand from someone that you might want to pursue a relationship with?
And that's where real attraction begins. Now let's flip this. You want to keep a woman, build something that feels like home to her. Then ask yourself, how do you build connection? Not with tactics.
Not with tactics? You're asking people to buy a $50 ebook exclusively of tactics. This whole video is tactics. This is telling you what questions to ask. The ebook has a script that you're supposed to use word for word. Not with tactics. What in the AI-generated script are you talking about?
With flattery, with truth, with awareness.
This is meant to be, just a reminder, mind-blowing questions that will make any woman fall for you. So far, the first 2 questions have not been about that even at all. They're about forcing her, very aggressive language, to confront her internal emotional landscape, which is, obviously, a bullshit word salad.
Number 3. What's something you wish more men understood?
That women are people. That women are people, and relationships, the best relationships, are built on equality and understanding and communication, and not one person being the person who is followed and respected and worshipped. As exemplified by every single thumbnail on this channel, which has a woman on her knees and a man walking away from her. That's what I wish more men would understand.
This is the question that cracks open the vault. It's the question that reveals pain, expectations, memory, and unspoken desires she hasn't even found words for yet.
If she hasn't even found words for it yet, how's she going to answer the question? Why do you say she hasn't found words for it yet?
Number 4. How do you know when you're really into someone? This question doesn't ask about attraction.
It does.
It doesn't ask about preferences.
It sort of does.
It doesn't beg for attention or chase emotional crumbs. It forces introspection. It turns the mirror inward. And that's why it's dangerous to a woman's emotional defenses.
Is this supposed to be dangerous to a woman's emotional defenses? I thought this was meant to be making women fall for you. Let's just go through each of the questions, because I'm starting to lose my mind.
Number 5. What's a memory that still makes your heart race?
Fine.
This is not a question for the surface-level flirt.
Oh my god.
Number 6. What does loyalty look like to you in a relationship? When you ask a woman this, you're not asking her to define a virtue.
You are.
You're asking her to reveal the blueprint of her emotional integrity. You're not playing with words. You're asking her to choose a path.
You're not asking her to choose anything.
Loyalty is an obvious answer, but loyalty is not black and white. It's coded in her emotional history, her triggers, her values, her fears. And how she answers this question will tell you not only who she is, but what version of herself she brings into relationships. This is not a test.
Kind of seems like it is a test. Kind of seems like that's exactly what it is. Which is weird, because again, this is meant to be making women fall for you. It's like the AI-generated title does not match the AI-generated script for this video. Fucking morons. How to deal with a promiscuous woman. Go on. Go on.
When a woman is promiscuous, it changes everything. Not just her past, your present, your future, your peace. And if you ignore that truth, it won't just cost you time. It'll cost you your identity.
Every single video has the same AI text-generated tell. It's not just this, it's this. Every video, multiple times. It isn't just about this, but it will this. It doesn't just say this, but it's this. That's what I have to say about it.
Number 1, stop needing closure. You already know the truth, you just haven't accepted it yet. You saw the signs, you felt the shift. You noticed how her words didn't match her actions.
Is this supposed to be about how to deal with a woman cheating on you? Because that feels different than a promiscuous woman. Have they just titled it that to make it sound smarter? To make it sound more intelligent? I feel like maybe they have. Stop seeking closure and move on with your life makes sense if you've been cheated on. But if this is about just having a partner who maybe has been with more people than you were comfortable with, then that's a completely different conversation.
You heard the stories that didn't line up, the vague timelines, the ex that somehow still checks in, the guy friend who calls at odd hours, the social media attention that never ends.
Social media attention being the same as cheating is very funny to me. Getting weird attention from, like, men on the internet is not part of what women usually seek out. It doesn't mean that they're cheating on you in some way if they are the recipient of attention. I got a really funny comment on Instagram this week that said Emma Thorne toots my horn. And I keep thinking about that. But that doesn't make me promiscuous or a cheater, because I was the recipient of that admittedly very funny comment.
You held on to the idea that maybe, just maybe, she'd see your value.
Blah, blah,
Silence
blah.
is an answer. Her inconsistency is a message.
Oh my god, how can it be so long and say so little?
Keep your focus on purpose. You don't lose your purpose all at once. You trade it, little by little, every time you explain yourself to someone.
You don't X, you Y. Thanks, ChatGPT.
Number 3, never compete with her past. You will never win a game where the scoreboard is inside her head and the rules change depending on how she feels that day. You will never be enough for someone who has normalized dysfunction and glamorized chaos, because if she's lived off emotional highs from men who treated her like an option, then your loyalty will feel boring, your consistency will feel suspicious, and your presence will feel like pressure.
Says who? Citation needed? But sure, if you happen to be with a woman like that, or a man like that, then, yeah, maybe say, hey, this isn't for me. But I just love how it's like men and robots writing these scripts and just creating stories of awful women. It's just like, when you're with this woman who does this and that and the other, and it's like, where is this? Can I speak to her? Like, where's this? You've just made up an evil woman so that men can feel threatened and hard done by. But she's not real.
Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because she's not calibrated for peace.
She is not calibrated for peace. When the fully independent AI sex bots are available, they will be calibrated for peace, and men will finally be happy.
Number 4, walk away and never look back.
It's the same as the other ones. It's the same point again as earlier. This has been the same one over and over. The next point is the same.
Number 5, rewrite the story without her. The chapter with her is over, not because you hate her, not because she didn't mean something at one point, but because the version of you that was tied to her doesn't exist anymore.
Number 1, it's the same as the previous point. All of these, whatever it is, six ways to deal with a promiscuous woman, which we have established now is actually a woman who cheats on you. Completely different thing, but whatever. So we've already heard that. Number 2, that didn't fucking make sense. That chapter is over. Rewrite the story. No, if the chapter is closed, you move on to the next chapter. Or you start the next book. You don't rewrite the book. That would mean rewriting your history with her. Saying, oh, it did mean something, it's just it's over now. That's the wrong fucking metaphor. You stupid AI piece of shit. Sorry. But come on!
Number 6, protect your peace above all.
Same word salady shit as all the other ones. Will anything on this channel be actually interesting or different or say anything unique? How high-value men make women afraid to lose them. Reverse psychology. Go on then.
She doesn't fear losing the man who constantly seeks her approval. She fears losing the man who respects himself, lives with purpose, and refuses to make anyone the center of his world.
Just to get my 5 cents. 5 cents? Just to get my 2 cents? Now I don't know what the sayings are. This is making me stupid, oh no! Just to give my 2 cents off the bat. You shouldn't make your partner afraid to lose you. That means that you're deliberately making them insecure in your relationship. What faster way could there be to cause relationship problems or cause it to end? You should feel secure and safe and respected in your relationship. You shouldn't be living in fear that your relationship is going to end. It doesn't really work like this. Women don't have these brains that are like, oh my god, he doesn't want me. He might want that other woman, so I must cling to him desperately. That's not how it works. Women are going to be like, I don't think he actually loves me. He doesn't seem to actually care about me or need me at all. So why am I in this relationship?
Number one. Value your own time. Your time is the one thing nobody can give back to you. Yet many men hand it away the moment a woman gives them attention because they believe constant availability proves loyalty, kindness, or love.
Yeah, that's just a piece of very basic advice, obvious to a lot of people, but maybe not for everyone. For anyone in a relationship with anyone of any gender, don't be obsessive. Don't revolve your life around your new partner. Don't be like weirdly clingy and, you know, it's fine. Like a lot of new couples also do spend a huge amount of time together because when you're getting to know somebody, you just want to spend a lot of time with them and it's exciting. That's also normal. Don't feel like if you're spending a lot of time with somebody, then you must be doing something wrong and not a high value man.
But the truth is that when your entire schedule depends on her mood, her replies, and her choices, you quietly teach her that your life becomes small without her in it. And that never creates respect because people naturally value what has purpose beyond them. So instead of waiting all day for her message, changing your plans every time she suddenly becomes available, or putting your goals aside because...
Yeah, don't be a creepy little lovesick puppy that changes your whole world every time she wants to hang out. This is sort of implying that that's what women want. It's sort of implying that that's what women want, but in this sense that that's what they want and then they'll dump you because it's not really what they want. Which just, the manosphere is so confusing. For some reason, that's like 5 minutes of video time. I know why. The reason is word salad. Is AI-generated word salad is the reason.
Number 2. Stay calm under pressure. Emotional control changes everything because many men lose their strongest position the moment emotions take over.
It's not a battle, right? A relationship is not a war zone. You don't need to identify the strategic positions. Again, it all revolves around this idea that somebody must be in a position of power. And it must be you. That's not what relationships are like. Unless you and your new partner are involved in a high-stakes game of Risk, this should not be a factor in your thinking. What does stay calm under pressure have to do with making women afraid to lose you? He's so calm. What if he calmly leaves me? What? This doesn't make any sense. This is such nothing. This is such nonsense.
Number 3. Keep some mystery. You do not become valuable by telling someone everything about yourself in the first few conversations, because genuine connection grows over time, not all at once. And many men make the mistake of believing they must constantly explain themselves, constantly prove their intentions.
That's not the same as keeping some mystery. Once again, the ChatGPT word salad has betrayed the title of this video, because even the title of this section, because keeping some mystery and like not telling somebody everything up front, I feel like the sensible nugget within this is don't feel like you have to trauma dump on somebody you've just met. Don't feel like you need to tell somebody all of your deepest, darkest, most personal things straight away. But I think most people do know that. And obviously they learn more about you as time goes on. Because otherwise you're just like doing nothing but explaining things about yourself from minute one. And people don't usually do that. If you do, there's your actual advice. You don't have to do that. not explaining yourself and your intentions, deliberately withholding things to keep a mysterious air about you. That's just being manipulative and really weird. What are you how does that relate to the point even?
And constantly share every thought in order to keep a woman's attention. But the opposite often happens because when nothing is left to discover, curiosity begins to disappear. Instead of trying to impress with endless stories or achievements, allow your actions to speak first.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're on a first date or something, don't go on about every trophy you ever won in school sports day. But again, I feel like that's obvious. Oh my god, it's such a long section. I know I keep saying that, but it's kind of unbelievable.
Number 4. Build a full life.
Duh.
A relationship should add to your life, not become your entire life.
Yeah.
And many men lose sight of that because they slowly place one person at the center of everything they do.
I think some people do that, not just men. And yeah, sounds obvious, but try not to do that. But again, like it is common for the first, I don't know, couple of months or something, for some couples to, when your friend gets into a new relationship and they sort of more or less disappear for a couple of months. It's just because they're excited to get to know another person. And when you learn more about that person, when there's nothing major left to discover, that's when you move into a newer, more sort of maybe less exciting but more comfortable and supportive type of relationship. And that's usually when couples start to go back into more of their social circles, because that initial excitement of just getting to know somebody is a real thing, and it's not necessarily a flaw. I think it's quite common. It's good to keep an eye on, how you're feeling. Are you abandoning your social circles? Are you giving up on your hobbies? Okay, maybe you need to think about that. But just spending a lot of time with someone early on, it's not as big of a deal as I think this channel is representing.
Intact, because your mission never
I love that it keeps referring to your life as a mission and a purpose. Do the guys watching this have a greater life purpose? Do they all have some majestic purpose? Is it to build $1 billion business? Are men expected to have some ridiculous higher purpose, or can they just be living their lives in a normal way like most of us living in whatever capitalist system we are clawing our way through? You don't have to have a mission in life. Some people do. Usually people who are conservationists, charity workers, things like that. Or the flip side of the coin, the evil side of the coin, people who want to build $1 billion business. Some of those people might have a mission in life, but normal people don't, I think. I think generally normal people don't. Normal people are just aiming to be happy. They might have certain goals regarding relationships, families, work. But the idea that, if you're a strong man, you must have a mission. You must have a grand purpose, and no woman can disrupt that because your purpose is everything.
Stoic Relationship Blueprint for Men is linked in the comments.
You see that typo? The Stoic Relationship Blueprint is linked in. Moronic shit.
Act with timeless principles you can apply immediately to strengthen your mindset.
His hair's getting big again.
Your relationships and your self-respect.
His hair's getting too big.
And it is now available as an audiobook.
Do you think the audiobook is read by an AI voice? Do you think it's the same AI voice as does all their videos?
Relationship is never built by one person carrying all the effort while the other simply receives it.
Yes.
And one of the biggest mistakes you can make is believing that your value increases the more you give, without allowing the other person to contribute in return, because over time that creates an unhealthy balance where your energy, attention, time, and emotional investment continue to grow.
Just noticed the zero, but part of the reason this is fucked up, caption-wise, is because there's zero punctuation. There's not been a comma or a full stop in any of these. No wonder it's hard to pass.
Instead, allow the relationship to develop naturally by giving her space to show interest.
A relationship should involve equal contributions of time and emotional energy. That's what I've been saying all along. But that's not how this channel is presenting relationships. Not even a little bit. It's literally been saying that you want somebody who follows you and that you should blank her. It's almost like there's not actually a person behind this channel that believes in a particular philosophy. It's almost like it's just AI generated, bullshit using manosphere terminology to get clicks. And it has successfully gained, somehow, 164,000 subscribers. Is that not the most depressing thing you've ever heard? Okay, I think I'm done. I can't cope with any more Stoic Tribe. How well do you think these Stoic Tribe videos represent the philosophy of Stoicism? I think not very well. I mean, mostly it's because this, again, is just ChatGPT generated word salad. It's literally like, we have these, say, 3 bullet points. How do we make that last at least 25 minutes for the sake of advertising? And therefore, it's incredibly slow, with repetitive, if occasionally contradictory, and nonsensical points. All while Marcus Aurelius's hair gets slowly bigger in the background. It just depresses me so much that a channel like this has subscribers and viewers. It really does. It does bother me. On the plus side, the videos seem to be getting sort of between like 500 and 1,000 views on average. Not that bad views-wise. We know that subscribers doesn't really amount to viewers anymore. The subscribers is more of like a you did it kind of benchmark rather than anything that actually really affects how you're doing on YouTube these days. That being said, I have been skirting 300,000 subscribers for a long time, and I would just love to tickle over that milestone. So please do subscribe and send this video to a pal. Do you have a weird friend who's getting slowly more misogynistic and you're a little worried about them? Send them this video. Do you have a friend who uses ChatGPT too much and thinks it makes them sound smart? Also send them this video. Thank you. Do like this video if you enjoyed it, share it around. Make sure you check out today's sponsor using the links down below. The best way to support this channel and what I do here is via the Patreon. That's patreon.com/EmmaThorneVideos. There's some exclusive videos up there, longer versions of content without ads, a lot of random behind the scenes stuff that I do in my life. And I must give a big old thank you and a shout out to my giant chickens and colossal quackers over on Patreon, especially Conla. God damn it, Conla. Most importantly, have yourself a very lovely week, and I will see you really soon.